Welcome, everybody, to the Disney Co. in the Know podcast, where you stay up to date on everything Disney and Universal news related. I am your host, Bruce Beal, owner of 407 and Beyond Vacation Company, and tonight we have big news coming out of Walt Disney World regarding Splash Mountain. We have the release of 2021 vacation packages and more. And so before I introduce our guest for this evening's show, I want to say that the Disney Co. in the Know podcast is sponsored by 407 and Beyond Vacation Company, Disney and Universal experts who help plan your family's perfect vacation. So all you have to do is show up, have fun, and create family memories. As always, our services are free to you. Visit us on the web at www.407vacations.com. So like I said, I'm going to introduce our guest. You have heard from her before. You have read her articles on the blog. It is the one and only Lydia Freudenberg. Lydia, thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Bruce.
It's good to have you. I know that our listeners definitely value your insight on the blog, and so it's good to have you in person, in the flesh, on the podcast. So
thank you.
We had quite a busy news week this week. Not only the new park pass system that was released, which we won't get into a whole lot tonight because we talked about that on the live show. Why don't we take that opportunity to talk about the live show real quick? So you can catch us live on Facebook every Monday night at 7:30, where I take your vacation questions, your comments, any questions you may have about the parks, about your vacations, and we just get together as Disney friends and talk about the things that we like. So make sure to join us on those fun vacation topics and anything you want to talk about on Monday nights at 7:30. So now we got that out of the way, right? Now that we plugged another show of ours, we talked about the park pass system on Monday night's show on Facebook. So we won't touch base on that. But even aside from the new park pass system, reservations opening up in 2021, that's big news. And then the news I want to talk about that just broke hours earlier before this show is the announcement coming from the Disney Parks blog that Splash Mountain is going to be rethemed. So why don't you, I know you wrote an article about that on the blog, so why don't you go ahead and talk about that?
Sure. So yeah, Disney announced today that they will be rebranding Splash Mountain to Princess and the Frog, which I was pretty surprised about just because I mean, of course, people always express like their opinions about what they want and everything. But I was surprised that Disney turned around so quickly with an announcement. So it was really exciting. I'm really excited for, the rebranding. I think it's going to be a great addition, or I guess new addition, however you want to say that, to Magic Kingdom and Disneyland.
Yeah.
But the thing that I noticed is it's like take you through the story of Princess and the Frog. It's just inspired by the film. So it's actually after the final kiss, they kept saying.
Right.
So I guess like once like Naveen and Tiana are married, and it actually goes through like them celebrating Mardi Gras. So a little bit different than like what we predicted on Disney Co. in the Know blog, but it still seems really cool and fun. And I think it's definitely like we're still going to get that Princess and the Frog jazz music, and we're still going to see some of our favorite characters, and I think it will fit really well into the park.
Yeah. So Lydia, let me ask you, all the facts aside and the press release that came out today from Disney about this, what are your personal feelings on this?
So I am I agree with like the people who are petitioning it and saying that it needs to be rebranded. It was originally based off the 1946 film Song of the South, which is controversial.
Sure.
It has a lot of racial stereotypes. It was, written and like a white journalist was depicting a Black American man who came out of slavery. So there was just a lot of like inaccuracies and assumptions. And so the ride itself, Splash Mountain, isn't based off that film, but it takes a lot of inspiration from the film. It actually just features the animated side of that film. So the controversial character himself isn't even in it.
So
So yeah,
Lydia,
there's and with every, go ahead.
oh no, sorry, sorry. So all of that aside, you're right. You hit it the nail on the head when you said that it's loosely based. Splash Mountain's loosely based on Song in the South, but in my opinion, it's tied just enough that
Right.
I'm okay with the reimagineering of Splash Mountain, but to me, what is a bigger deal is we finally have a presence of Princess and the Frog in the parks, because
Absolutely.
I have been wanting it. I have been calling for it. You know, we need more than just a meet and greet, or a dining option on a cruise line, or a cruise ship. Excuse me. And so I think it is time for Princess and the Frog to have a real staple concrete presence in the park. And so
Yeah.
not
And
only am I
it's a
okay.
big one
Yeah,
too. Like
exactly.
she'll have a big, yeah, and I mean
Yeah.
it's such a great film. It really shows like the diversity of American culture, and I think so many people are going to be able to relate to it. So, and people are a little upset because they're like, it's all politics. It's all because of everything going on. And yeah, it's political, sure, but it's also natural, which is what Disney keeps saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, Disney changes stuff all the time. That's what Walt wanted. And so I think this is a good positive change. And yeah, like you said, I'm really excited to see Tiana, in the parks more.
Absolutely. I mean, I think Princess and the Frog sometimes gets is underrated, and I think the music is up there with the best of Disney animation. And so I think this ride is not only going to be great aesthetically, but I think it's going to be a whole lot of fun. And I could just
Oh yeah.
imagine guests going through this attraction singing the songs from our favorite scenes. So let me just read from the press release directly on just this news that just broke earlier today. So Disney says, today we are thrilled to share a first glimpse of a project Imagineers have been working on since last year. Splash Mountain at both Disneyland Park in California and Magic Kingdom Park in Florida. We will pick up this story after the final kiss, as you said, Lydia, and join Princess Tiana and Luis on a musical adventure featuring some of the powerful music from the film as they prepare for their first ever Mardi Gras performance. So then they reached out to the voice of Princess Tiana, Anika Noni Rose, and this is what she had to say. She says, "It is really exciting to know that Princess Tiana's presence in both Disneyland and Magic Kingdom will finally be realized," which, you know me, 100% on board with that, totally agree.
Yeah.
As passionate as I am about what we created, I know that fans are going to be over the moon. The Imagineers are giving us the Princess and the Frog Mardi Gras celebration we've been waiting for, and I'm here for it. And Lydia, I'm there for it too. So,
I am too. Look at the cup I brought today.
perfect. Perfect. That's too
Yeah,
funny.
I'm really excited. I mean, it's one of my
Yeah.
favorite films, and it's such a great film. So
And
very much.
Lydia, I have pulled up here the concept art that you have in the blog post on our article, and that was released by Disney, and just seeing the colors, the nighttime on the bayou, and then seeing the classic Splash Mountain, log flume there in the water, with all of like what looks like the lightning bugs from
Yeah,
the movie. It just I'm telling you, Lydia,
it
I
just
can't
makes
say enough.
sense.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm so excited, and it just makes sense. I mean, because you and I were talking earlier about like, well, Disney's been working on this for what, a year? They said since last year, but fans petitioned this like just a few months ago. So it's like, did they predict this? What's going on? But I just think it's just so natural. Like it
Yeah.
fits perfectly. Like having Princess and the Frog in there. Like they don't have to change too much because it still has those like southern vibes to it and everything. And I'm really excited to see the new exterior decorations with like
Yes.
the boat stuck in the house. I think that will be really cool. I'm really
Right.
excited.
I've already been reading up on people's thoughts online about this, and a lot of them are saying, well, how does this fit within Frontierland, especially at Magic Kingdom in Florida, because it kind of fits that the Port Orleans obviously
Right.
environment out in California. So, but in the Magic Kingdom, people are, expressing concern with, well, how does this attraction fit within Frontierland? I don't have that concern because the exterior is probably not going to change that much. So aesthetically,
No.
the outside is going to be kind of similar. and probably minus the Briar Patch, right? So, but like, why can't the Bayou be the frontier as well? So,
Right. Well, and we actually talked about that in the article I wrote on I mean if you want to get like geographic. But yeah, I mean like the Great American Frontier was like a concept. It's not like it doesn't specifically mean like the West.
yeah.
So, you know, Louisiana was involved in that frontier expansion. So technically it still fits the theme.
I think it does, and I know I'm a little biased when it comes to that. So I do want to read two more lines from the press release, Lydia. It said Disney says the new concept is inclusive, one that all of our guests can connect with and be inspired by, and it speaks to the diversity of the millions of people who visit our parks each year. And just to that point, it is inclusive. We have another, princess in the parks with a presence, a black princess, and it's about time that we have representation of the characters in the parks, because Disneyland, Disney World, Disney movies, it's about inclusivity, people coming together, having a good time as families. Mm-hmm. And so, I've said it once, I've said it twice, I've said it probably 10 times now. I just think this is a move in the right direction.
I do too. I think it's going to allow Disney to really look at even some other attractions that might not be, politically, inaccurate, but it will allow them to look at things and be like, we can totally take this like wave and recreate some of our older rides to fit some of our newer audiences and like really incorporate more of our diverse characters into our parks. Totally. So I think it's a good first step.
Totally.
Absolutely.
And listeners and viewers may be asking themselves, well, what's the timeline? Do we know when this is going to go under refurb? Do we know when it's going to reopen? The short of it is, no, we don't, because Disney says that as Imagineers begin working and conducting preliminary reviews and develop a timeline for when the transformation can start to take shape. So that's from Disney. We don't know, and I imagine it's going to be a while before we actually get kind of a timeline.
Yeah.
So, but
yeah, I'm sure they'll try to make it as speedy as possible. It's their largest attraction, I would say, at least, and that's the thoughts I've always had. So at least like in the Magic Kingdom. So I'm sure they'll try to get it in and out real quick. So sure. I wouldn't be too worried.
Well, Lydia, let's stay in the Magic Kingdom and let's talk about some photos that came out just on the 21st, because the 22nd, because as you know, the DVC Deluxe Villas reopened up. The parks aren't open, but guests could go and stay and swim in the pools and go to Disney Springs. And from the Disney Food blog, we have this photo of inside the Magic Kingdom, and it's a photo of the new paint job on the castle, which I don't know about you. I don't know if my eyes are deceiving me, but it does look very rose gold or pink. So, one, are you seeing the same thing? And two, what are your thoughts on it?
I'm seeing the same thing. It looks like they went in and definitely made the roof more royal blue. Yeah. And it looks like they painted the like stucco parts of the castle a light like blush pink. Right. And they might have like even heightened the gold on it, or maybe that's just like more brilliant now because of the shades that they chose. But I like it. I was, when I saw it, I was like, is that Disneyland Paris? When I saw it.
Right.
Because it's very similar, but I think it's nice, and I think it will be really cool, and I really like it, and yeah, I don't really have any complaints about it.
You're like, I look at it, I like it, I'll see it in person, I'll like it, and we know that the Disneyland Castle just had their makeover as well, so the castle is getting some love. I'm a little, I don't want to say nervous or skeptical, but I think it might be one of those things where for me it's going to look better in person when I can see it live than in the photo. Mm-hmm. But I'm up for trying to give kind of these main getting the castle, spruced up a little bit. Lydia, you and I were both at Neuschwanstein Castle in Germany just last year, which is, the basis for the castles. So I don't think they're going to be repainting Neuschwanstein Castle anytime soon.
No, and I don't think it doesn't, yeah, because I'm looking at like a side by side right now, like the before and after, and it was like all gray and light blue, and now it's like bright blue and pink. So it is very different. It's a lot more vibrant. It looks a little more like magical and less like, I don't want to say realistic, but honestly, no one would have used that color palette and like
right, yeah,
when they built a castle. So it's slightly less realistic, but yeah, I think it should be. I think it's definitely going to draw guest eyes.
Yeah,
more down Main Street. So
absolutely, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Oh, what's that? Yeah, same.
So I also, I think I posed this on the live show on Monday, but I'm curious if this pinkish color will help or enhance or even affects at all the nighttime projections. So.
Yeah, I wonder that too. And I know Casey was saying like he wonders if the pink's gonna fade more quickly, but I'm sure like Disney has done their research to make sure that it doesn't, or like they always do, they'll go in and like paint it every night. So
that's I was just gonna say. You mean they don't paint that every night? So, all right. While we're in the parks at Disney World, let's talk about the news. Well, that actually not only came out but went into effect this week, and that is 2021 Walt Disney World vacation packages are available. So, Walt Disney World released had a press release, emailed travel agents and said that even though the water parks are not going to be open and some of the hotels aren't going to be open, that guests can begin to purchase vacation packages. And the vacation packages are available beginning January 1st of 2021 through September 27th, 2021. So just a week shy of the big October 50th anniversary. So I know we have a lot of clients and fans of the show that have emailed about, well, I want to get in for the 50th anniversary. It's in October. It's going to go quick. Well, Disney is, I think, kind of pacing themselves because they've stopped 2021 reservations there in late September. So Lydia, here is the kind of the laundry list of resorts that will be open in 2021 as of right now. So Bay Lake Tower at Disney's Contemporary, Boulder Ridge Villas at Wilderness Lodge, Copper Creek Villas and Cabins at Wilderness Lodge, Animal Kingdom Lodge, a lot of lodges, Art of Animation, Beach Club Villas, Boardwalk Inn, Boardwalk Villas, Caribbean Beach Resort, Contemporary Resort, Coronado Springs, Fort Wilderness Campground, the Grand Floridian, Old Key West, Polynesian, Pop Century, the Riviera Resort, Saratoga Springs, Yacht and Beach Club Resorts, and the villas at the Grand Floridian. So if you are listening to this and you're like, well, isn't that just about cover all of them? There are some key, there are some key resorts missing, like all of the All-Star resorts. So I don't see All-Star Sports, Movies, or Music on that list. So it looks like and you know what we don't see is Port Orleans French Quarter or Port Orleans Riverside. So there are some key, very popular resorts not on the list for 2021.
Yeah.
So
and they got all the expensive ones.
Right. That's right. Yeah. All of the deluxe open. So just as a reminder, anyone that wants to book a 2021 vacation package, visit us at 407 and Beyond Vacation Company at www.407vacations.com, and we'll get you hooked up with a travel agent and can get that reservation for you. But one key thing that Disney has said about the 2021 packages is that it does not guarantee theme park availability. And guests will need a theme park reservation to enter the parks. So even though you may get a reservation, you're not guaranteed theme park entry. So they do suggest that before you book your vacation, or if you're working with a travel agent, specifically one of ours, that you visit DisneyTravelTradeInfo.com/WDW calendar, which I think might be for travel agents, but you can get the calendar on the Disney website online, and you can see what's going to be available for the dates that you want to travel. That way, you don't buy a reservation or an entire vacation package, and then get down here and you don't have you don't have a park pass reservation. So
right.
So yeah, and continuing the theme of 2020, there will be no Disney dining packages available in 2021. So, some big news with
But yeah,
that.
guys, totally use your travel agent slash 407 and beyond. It's free, and Bruce can be the one that, sits on the phone for 4 hours while all
Right,
this
yeah.
stuff goes down instead of you guys. So it totally makes sense to use a travel agent service when you do this because it's, makes your Disney trip so much more magical.
Right.
So there's my plug for you
I
guys.
appreciate it. And now more than ever, it seems, with all the changes coming to Walt Disney World and Disneyland. One also interesting thing is that this is they're only opening up vacation packages, which is room reservations and theme park tickets. So that's what's going to be available in 2021. And Lydia, I think we briefly touched on this on the live show, but there will be no more free or complimentary magic bands. So they are moving the
That kind of
technology.
breaks my heart.
I know. They are moving that technology to the My Disney Experience app. So you can still buy and purchase magic bands. You can still use magic bands, which I will probably do, but everything will be on the mobile device. So they're moving in that direction.
I mean, it makes sense. It's cost effective. It's eco-friendly. So they're not
Yeah.
producing like millions of magic bands. But I always loved that. I thought it was easy. Like now, like you'll have to take out your phone, but I think everyone has their phone. So I think it
Right.
will be fine.
Yeah, and what happens when your phone dies and you don't have a magic band? So,
Right.
so
Because
I think I'm
mine
sticking with the
go in the
magic band.
store.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But they're not
So
that expensive. They're only like what, like $12?
yeah, if you get a basic
Like
color one,
actually.
and then if you go up to like
Yeah.
that $20 price range, you can get more fun ones with characters and scenes and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot. So
Yeah.
so more cancellations, not just free or complimentary magic bands for guests, but Lydia, as you saw, the Halloween party, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party for 2020 has been canceled. So there will be no Halloween parties this year, which is not that big of a surprise. I don't know how you feel, but
No.
I mean, that kind of seems expected.
Right. I mean, it's like I've never been, but our niece has gone, and it's all character meet and greet, and it just seems like a bunch of children running around. And if they're going
Right.
to require, kids under 2 to wear a mask in the parks, there's just no way that they could keep that,
Right.
regulated with physical distancing, making sure everyone has their mask on, making sure the cast members are safe. So I get it. It's really
Yep.
sad, and I think a lot of people are going to miss it, but it makes sense.
It
So,
makes sense, and not only the what you had mentioned about masks and physical distancing, but the entire premise of the Halloween party is the passing out of candy and going trick or treating,
right.
and getting in front of the castle for the nighttime show with the Sanderson
Mhm.
sisters and the fireworks and the parades. So it's kind of this accumulation of everything that they're canceling for 2020. So I don't,
Right.
honestly, I don't see how the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas party is going to happen either. I think they're probably taking that wait and see approach, which, everybody's doing
Right.
right now, but I don't see how that's going to happen either.
No. I mean, even if like we got a vaccine tomorrow, like this thing's, it's gonna take a while. So
Yeah,
yeah, I get it. It's really sad, but it's not gonna be forever. It's all temporary.
right.
We'll get back to
That
normal one day.
one day, yeah. So we won't talk too much about it, but one thing that I thought was interesting too is that on July 15th, Epcot is going to go forward with the Food and Wine Festival. So I thought this was pretty interesting because the Food and Wine Festival is a lot of transactions, giving food to guests, and then kind of standing around and eating it. And Lydia, what's the one thing that you can't do while you eat? Wear a mask. So,
Oh yeah. I was like,
right. You're like, I do everything while I eat.
I
No.
was like, yeah.
So, like, we have guests who are not going to be able to wear masks because they're eating. Makes sense. And we have a lot of transactions. So I was a little bit surprised that they're going forward with this, but they must have some sort of plan in place to keep people
Hmm.
distance, and with the capacity levels being lowered, maybe they feel that they can achieve that.
Right. And they might have like sections because I don't know. I've never been. You've been. But like they might be like you have to go over here and eat. and then you can leave. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like they might not let you like walk around with your food. So, which would be not bad, I don't think. So, yeah,
Right.
nice weather, pretty views. It
Right.
all
Yeah.
works out. Just a little, yeah.
Right. So Lydia, let's go over to a couple of articles that you recently wrote for the blog, and I'll just
Yeah.
give the link now. That's over at our vacation website /in the know. So 407 vacations /in the know is where you can stay up to date on all Disney and Universal news, including theme parks and whatever it is that you're looking for to help plan your family's perfect vacation. So, just recently, Lydia has posted a couple of articles, one being about the Disneyland delayed reopening. So, why don't you go ahead and talk about that?
Yes, so Disneyland was set to open July 17th. Let me double check that. Yeah, July 17th. It was, that was on the docket. That was what they were expecting. And then they just announced that that's going to be pushed back because of California. They haven't released information yet for theme park guidelines, and they probably won't release that until after July 4th. And so Disney was like, well, geez, we can't turn around in like 2 weeks and have like everything ready and prepared by then. So they just want to make sure that their cast members, especially in this scenario, are safe and that everything, is good to go before they reopen. But Downtown Disney will still reopen on July 9th. So that's some good news. But
Yeah.
of course, with that July 17th date being pushed back, that also means that the resorts, so Disney's Grand Californian Hotel and Spa and Disneyland's Paradise Pier Hotel will also be pushed back.
Right.
That information will be released at a later date. We don't have,
Right.
oops, hit my table, my bad, new dates yet. So,
Right, and
yeah.
Lydia, a couple of things from your article and you talking about it as a news piece is that the Disneyland Hotel was not mentioned, and that's because it's not reopening with the other resorts, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I just put the reopening of resorts, Disneyland's Grand Californian Hotel and Spa
Right.
and Disneyland's Paradise Pier Hotel will not reopen on July 17th.
Right,
So
and
as
Disneyland
well.
Hotel
Yeah.
just is not taking reservations at this time. So,
Okay.
and one key thing that you said is the downtown Disney district is reopening on July 9th. So, I guess that's
Yeah.
good for locals. But I don't know if people. Well, there are no hotel reservations, so I think downtown Disney will just be open to locals. I guess because you're not going to go
Yeah.
stay at a
No, and it's like right. I mean, it's like in between the two parks. So I wonder how like that's gonna feel because like it's very much with the parks in Disneyland. So I don't know. I'm sure it will be fine, but it's good. It's not as big as like the one in Disney World, but it should still be fun. So
yeah
I'm sure that all
I
the restaurants and shops will reopen with it too.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I absolutely love Disneyland. It is quaint, it is fun, and I can't wait to take another team trip out there. So, when
Yeah.
everything settles down, we'll be out there covering it. So,
Mm-hmm.
so let's bring it back to Florida with our last news article about the shops and entertainment options that are going to open up with the parks in July. So, if you check back our live show. For Monday night. I know we've already talked about the live show, but I read off a list of attractions that are going to be open when the parks reopen. And so let's talk about what you wrote about all of the shops and entertainment options.
Yeah. So this is pretty exciting. Disney was like, here's a full list of shops opening at Walt Disney World. So that was really nice. People love like having mass information and being like, yes, now I can plan my entire trip.
Right.
So we have like all that information on there. And I was looking at it and I mean, I can read. I'm not like as familiar with the shop names as probably you are, but it seems like about half and half is like opening. So because I saw another article where it was saying Disney shops that aren't opening, and
Mm-hmm.
it was like about the same amount of shops that are opening.
Yeah.
So like in the Magic Kingdom, you'll have like the big ones, of course, like the Emporium are opening, the Main Street Confectionery are opening. You'll have Star Traders, which is fun, Tomorrowland, Light and Power Co. So there are and the Christmas shop. So that's good. But
You
so
can't beat a
basically
good
looks like all
Christmas
of
shop.
Right. You can't, yeah, love that. Oh, and my favorite, Memento Mori will be opening. So
Oh,
the one back
yes.
by the Haunted Mansion. But
Yes.
it looks like all of Main Street's opening. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
For like the most part. So, but yeah, with Animal Kingdom, it seems like again a lot of the carts are opening is like what I'm seeing. Um, you have the African Hub cart, the Kilimanjaro Safari cart, the Dino Institute shop, which is Bruce's favorite section of Animal Kingdom.
Definitely not our dino.
Epcot, again, a lot of the carts, but I am happy that the shop in Japan is opening. So that's really exciting. And but yeah, it doesn't look like there's like the Mouse Gear's temporary location, so I don't exactly know what that means, but that's like a huge shop. Like my mom will spend hours in that shop. So I wonder like what the temporary location means. But it's still exciting that they are opening a lot of um, the shops and such. And then Hollywood Studios, we have, you know, Celebrity 5 and 10, Once Upon a Time, Rock Around the Shop, but the Hollywood Boulevard shop I saw isn't opening. The Tatooine Traders, is that in Galaxy's Edge?
That is over by Star Tours. So I think
Okay.
that's the
So,
shop you exit in from Star Tours.
okay. But the Droid Depot experience is open. So that's
Yes.
exciting. I know a
Yes.
lot of people were excited about that. So, yeah, it's again like half and half. So it's definitely you're going to have to like go to the parks and kind of feel it out and feel it. But I don't think it's going to be like, oh no, my favorite shop's closed, because it looks like they're opening like the most popular ones,
Right.
which makes sense. So
Right.
that's good. I'm
Yeah.
really excited.
So what do we have in terms to look forward to in entertainment at the parks?
Yeah. So, again, all of the parades, we've talked about this, all the fireworks shows, parades, playgrounds, and character meet and greets will not be available temporarily. But Disney's using, I think this is so funny, they're using cavalades, is what they're
Yes.
calling them, which is literally just synonymous with parades.
Yeah.
But they're saying like character cavalades throughout the day. So they'll basically just have like in the Magic Kingdom, they'll just have characters walking along the parade route, like waving at people. They will have the Main Street Philharmonic still, which is exciting at Magic Kingdom. Animal Kingdom, again, they'll have these like character cavalades and like they'll have cruises throughout the day. So that's exciting, like on the river. Epcot, same thing. The American Gardens Theater will be open, and they'll have some performances there. They'll have a Frozen promenade. Sorry, I said that wrong.
You're good.
And so, but they don't have, of course, they don't have the light spectacle or anything like that. I won't be able to meet Snow White at Germany. um, and then, yeah, again, these like motorcade like shows that they do in Hollywood Studios, those will be back. So I like don't know how this is gonna go down, honestly. Like I don't know how they'll like in Hollywood Studios, those motorcade shows that come, not a lot of people congregate when those happen. It's maybe 20 people and they'll come and go. But like I'm worried about like the ones in Magic Kingdom with like having these like groups of princesses like going down the parade route. Like how's that gonna work? Of course, they said that when they do have events like this that do like get a lot of people to congregate in one area, they will have like sections taped off and stuff, and they'll have signage of like where to do, and they'll have physical barriers, and so it's interesting.
It is.
I'm glad that they're still doing like entertainment stuff, but I honestly don't know how they're gonna like keep people from not congregating.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
agree.
gonna be interesting.
It is going to be
But
interesting, and I know it over at Universal. The way that they're handling the character interaction with guests is by take not instead of like having an employee take photos or mom and dad take photos on their cell phone, they're only doing what they're calling ussies or selfies, but the character is standing like 6 feet back, like on a platform, and it's like here's the fence, here's the character, and you can kind of take this angled shot with the character. I don't know if Disney's going to implement that, but these cavalcades and these like modified parades, I think, are going to be interesting. And so I'm anxious to see the footage coming from the park starting, in 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's definitely going to be interesting. But, with limited capacity, I think they'll be able to kind of control it a little bit better. I wonder, because I was like, at Hollywood Studios, they could easily just bring out the stormtroopers because they'll literally have a giant face mask on, so they're not in any danger, and just be back up, back away. But I'm like, how are they going to do that in the Magic Kingdom?
I know.
Will they just send out Snow White and be like, please back away from they can't do that. That doesn't make sense. So
I imagine
we'll see what happens.
There'll be the uses of the Disney cast members who kind of help control the parade and hold the ropes. And yeah, I'm pretty interested in seeing how this all goes. So
yeah.
So Lydia,
is
there any other news this week or any other topics you want to touch on before we close up for tonight's show?
No, I mean, a lot happened this week.
I know.
I'm
it seems
exhausted thinking about all the stuff that happened.
I know, and it has felt like that with the parks closing and then announcements coming out, vacations being modified to 2021. Whatever shop, attraction, or resorts opening, it has felt like news nonstop the last couple months.
Yeah, 100%. It's just been wild, but a lot of exciting stuff too. So I'm really excited.
A lot to look forward to.
A lot to look forward to. I'm really excited.
Yeah. Well, Lydia, thanks for joining us on this show, and I encourage all of our listeners and viewers to visit the blog page on our vacation site /in-the-know to catch all of Lydia's articles and latest releases. So, Lyd, thanks again for being on the show, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me.
So
talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. So to our viewers and listeners, thanks for watching or listening to the Disney Co. in the Know podcast, where you stay up to date on all Disney and Universal vacation news. You can catch us on Facebook, iTunes, or YouTube. And to stay in the know, visit our blog at www.407vacations.com/in-the-know. So if you are listening to our show and you're like, hey, I want to participate in the discussion, I have a couple of questions myself, visit us on Monday nights on Facebook Live, where we get on, our contributors get on, and we just talk as a Disney community, answering each other's questions and just having a good time. So if you're looking to participate in the show, make sure to check us out Monday nights at 7:30 on Facebook Live. So guys, as always, thanks a lot for watching. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.